Hello everyone, welcome back. This is just coming in. IGP bans SARS from stop and search patrols. Now, this is very interesting for most Nigerians. I'm telling you, everybody is really psyched about this. It's something we have all been waiting for. Like, everybody has really been waiting for this for some time right now, and especially for the young ones. Like, most young adults have been waiting for this for so long. Now, so this just happened, and all the subsidiary agencies under SARS have been stopped from, setting up checkpoints, roadblocks, unwarranted searches, just coming up to your vehicle and stopping you and asking to search you, looking for your ATM card, looking for your phone, checking your phones, looking for apps on your phones, looking for pictures and all those other things like that. All those things they have been using to chase after Yahoo boys, which is very ironic and very difficult for anybody not from Nigeria to understand, because it's very annoying. How should an organization, or at least an agency within the police force called Special Anti-Robbery Squad? Now, you would think that it should be about robbery, or at least some sort of vice, like some sort of physical violent kind of stuff. That's what they're going to be dealing with, and all of a sudden you have them chasing after Yahoo boys and all of those things, G boys and stuff. Like, it just begs the thought, the imagination is very disappointing about the Nigerian police force, and that's saying a lot. We all know the Nigerian police force. For us to say something is disappointing about it, it means that thing is really disappointing. These are the same people who are always staying on the road with all their rifles and collecting 20 naira, 50 naira and all of that. They have no form of dignity whatsoever. And this has really taken them to a new low when it comes to the way they have been conducting themselves, the SARS exactly. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. And of course, I'm not trying to be in support of internet fraud, because a whole lot of people that talk about this, they are actually like, it's not your business, you don't need to care about those things. Is he your father? Are they defrauding your father? Your father is not Onyebo man, you shouldn't really care about it, and all of those things like that. So I'm not exactly like that. In my own way of thinking, internet fraud, whatever it is, whether it's against Nigerians, which of course some of these things are actually against Nigerians also, or against someone thousands of miles away, it does not really matter. What is wrong is wrong. It is wrong to try to steal something from someone, whatever a person has invested their life savings in, and you try to steal it. I have an experience with one Yahoo boy some times ago. They were talking in the room. Back when I was still in school, they were talking in the room, talking about how they defrauded a particular woman, and that woman, they really defrauded her so much that she was admitted in a hospital. Like, she was currently in a hospital at that moment, and they were discussing among themselves how they were going to wait for her to recover, and they are still going to scam her again. That's what they were trying to say, that they are still going to scam her again, that they are not going to delete her number, they're not going to delete her details, they're not going to block her, they are going to wait for her to recover so that they can scam her even much more, because she was in a very desperate situation. She had so much debt on her head because of those guys. So they knew she was very vulnerable, and they were like, okay, we have to get back to her because she was vulnerable emotionally. And of course, that's one thing you really need to understand. Yahoo boys really go after people who have emotional problems. So whether it's Nigerians, it is other African people, it is Americans, whatever it is, they always go after those people who have emotional problems. Let's say somebody that just went through a divorce, somebody that just maybe had an abortion, and maybe is getting a little bit conflicted about what she just did. All sorts of things like that. Somebody having money problems, somebody having debt problems, maybe student debt or whatever it is like that. If you are just in a fix, you are in a problem, those are the people they go after, because it's just like you are already prepared for them to prey on you. That's exactly what Yahoo boys actually do. Now, so that's what I'm just trying to say. So they carry out credit fraud and credit card fraud, hacking of accounts, ransomware. That is, they are going to hack into your system or your account, and then you have to pay them a particular sum of money so that they can release your details back, and all of those things is very disgusting. So I'm not trying to defend these people at all. They are very reprehensible sets of people. But again, the SARS, that is not their job. That is absolutely not their jobs. And it is very annoying to realize that, apart from the fact that it is not their job, that the only reason why they are doing this thing is simply so that they can get their own cut out of the booty. So it's basically that's what they're just trying to do. So they try to intimidate those Yahoo boys with threat of arrest and all sort of things like that, so that they can get money from them. So it's not even about enforcing law out of your own jurisdiction, because they are not even enforcing the law. For the most part, all they're just trying to do is to get their own share of the money from what the Yahoo boys are doing. And of course, this is not going to leave out the bankers who are helping them, in the wiring of the money and all of those things like that, because these people, they have connections with the bankers themselves. So everybody is freaking corrupt when it comes to this thing. Everybody is corrupt. Talk about the women who go out with them. Everybody, like basically everybody. Like some people will always say that Nigerians were just a nation of thieves. Everybody is corrupt. Everybody's trying to game someone out in every single way. Any sort of transaction you're doing with a Nigerian, be very, very careful, because basically everyone is trying to scam each other. So that's what is going on. So that's just basically what is there. So because sometimes I really think about it that, for example, the older people in the population, the elderly ones, they might think that, oh, SARS is doing something important. They're trying to get rid of these people. They're trying to deal with these people. No. Does anyone really think that SARS cares about a white woman or a white man on the other side of the world, maybe in Britain or in America, getting defrauded? Nobody cares about that. There's no way you're going to be able to care about that. Are you really going to tell me that Nigerian, like the Nigerian government is going to be like putting in their funds in order to protect someone in another country? I mean, your purpose is to protect the people in your own nation. So there's no government that's going to be so concerned about protecting the citizens of another nation from the criminals in their own nation. Countries don't do that. That's basically what is happening. Countries don't do it. So Nigeria is not going to be completely into all this. Most of those things you are saying about the government saying that we're going to deal with Yahoo boys and all those things, they are just virtue signaling. They're just saying those things. No country has interest in doing anything like that, because whatever money they get from there, they are going to be repatriating the money back to Nigeria, which means Nigeria is getting some cash from it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It is bad, but they are getting cash from that. So let's just put that in perspective. And again, it's just very embarrassing the way they treat anybody that they see that is rich looking, moving about in a good car, and maybe even in private vehicle, and you are dressing really, really well. I know there are some cases where the person is dressing like a crazy person. We're not talking about that. They also do that to some people who are dressing really, really decently. If they think that, oh no, your age, you shouldn't have this amount of money, or you shouldn't be living this kind of life. So they try to, to disturb you about that. There are sometimes that maybe a mechanic is trying to test out the vehicle of his, the customer, and then the mechanic gets, disturbed, like, why are you driving in this vehicle, and all those things like that. It's very, very disgusting. Honestly, these people really, really need to get their butts kicked. And honestly, I'm very happy that this thing is happening to them right now. They have been banned from doing all those things, and it's really, really important. And especially the aspect of seizing your phones and searching through your phones is just so it's patronizing and annoying. And of course, it's not only even the SARS, the NDLEA does that sometimes. And I guess maybe drugs have now morphed into phones. I don't understand, because they should be dealing with drugs, not dealing with phones. But they obviously do that also. And that is just very shameful. Again, majorly all the different agencies in the federal government, the forces, they are very, very disappointing in the execution of their jobs. And the big question, which is the $1 million question, is that, is this thing ever really going to stop? Honestly, one question I'm going to ask is that, do police still take bribes on highways? Of course, they still do. Even though they have been warned several times, there have been so many things done about it, and it's never going to stop. Like, it's never going to stop. I mean, even soldiers are collecting bribes right now on the highways. So, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, SARS is still part of the police force, so they are never going to stop their corruption. They are going to keep doing this. So, who knows? I mean, let's just try to see what is going to happen about this. But my hunch is that they are going to keep doing it. It's just going to be a little bit more low-key, understand? So that's what it's going to be. I mean, we are in Nigeria. Let's all be, let's be serious about this. We are all in Nigeria, and this is what is going to keep happening. Anyway, I'm going to be seeing you guys in the next video. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are on Facebook, make sure you follow us, and also on Instagram. And I'll be seeing you guys next time.